Hi there, David Johnston here, David J247 on the forums, here at Narre Lights on December 26, Boxing Day 2017. Tonight will be the final night of our lighting display for this year, so I just wanted to take the chance to give a bit of a last minute walkthrough, a few new additions this year, a few things we've added, just as a bit of an add-on to our last year 2016 walkthrough behind the scenes. Had a bit of a response to that video, so a few things to add this year. Watch on and enjoy. So let's begin with some of the control equipment. Now I've been over this particular control box in a bit more detail in the previous video, but just for a recap, our entire Narre Lights show is run from a Raspberry Pi running Falcon Pi Player, FPP software. This manages the schedule each night. All of the sequences are stored and run from the small USB key you can see here. Also in this cabinet are power supplies for various elements. A small network switch here to manage the network information. If we can see behind here, there's a small FM transmitter. And the controllers for the show are broken into basically three areas. So the Falcon F16 V2R manages all of the pixels in the show, both locally through these 16 outputs, and remotely through the four green differential cables that we can see here. These run out to smaller control boxes spread throughout the yard. There's also some DMX DC controllers. These control some of the older DC static lights that we've had in previous years' shows. Also via DMX control some AC controllers. We have a pair of these LOR controllers for mains powered lights, things like rope light silhouettes and the like, as well as some effect projection type lights. Colour coding has been quite important for our show. As you can see just from the main controller box here, there's quite a lot of cable involved. We've colour coded these into Cat5 blue for network, red you can see back here for DMX control cables, green for the differential control cables coming from the pixel controller. These are power and data cables for pixels in black, and then for DC channels in white. The reason for colour coding those is as they run out through the yard, and you can see an example of it here, it can get very, very messy. It's nice to be able to just see at a glance by the colour what a cable is for. One small addition to the box this year is just a 12 volt car radio. This runs some external speakers around the house just for walk-up visitors. Last year we had this out in the yard in a waterproof enclosure, but this year it's found its way into the main controller box and just slots in nicely at the bottom there out of the way. When we move, well, you already know. So just imagine. So on to the new elements we've added this year, starting here with the candy canes. We have 6 of these in the show this year, and these are 48 pixel Boscoyo Coro candy canes. Very nice design, quite small in size, just mounted on a steel pole there into the ground, but these have been really effective in the show. We're quite pleased with how these have turned out. To give you an idea how these are put together, they're Coro, as I mentioned, so 10mm corrugated plastic, 48 pixels in all. Now I've used some square pixels that we had on hand. If I had my time over, if I was starting these again, I would probably use bullet pixels. They tend to hold in a little better. These can be a little flimsy, but certainly does the job and looks really effective. And just finished off there with 3-pin Reiwu connectors in and out. A little bit of a long cable there just for the purposes of joining them together. So for this particular element we have 3 here in the front of the yard and another 3 along the side. Another new addition to the show this year are these North Poles. There are 2 of these in the show, made again using corrugated plastic, 5mm in this case, and some recycled light fixtures. So here we have a steel base, top and bottom, held together with some threaded rod internally, and a glass dome on top. So I'll remove this here just to give you an idea of how this is put together inside. So again, made using 2811 30 LED or 10 pixel per metre strip, around 25 pixels in this case. And now on to the largest piece built for the show this year and has become the centrepiece of the show. It's our 24x50 mega tree. This is made again using square 2811 pixels, all 12 volt. As you'll see here, these are mounted in Boscoyo pixel strip at 3-inch spacing. And we've opted for a 270-degree tree, so 3/4 of the way around. We're on a corner block here, so this made a lot of sense to us, that it can be seen and sort of holds its shape on all sides, without building a full 360-degree tree where the back may not be seen. 270 suited us perfectly. So a few of the details on this one. Slightly different design here. We're using a lighting truss frame, or stand I should say. Little unusual, we don't tend to see a lot of these in use, but it's something that I had a few of lying around, so making use of it as we do, and it's been quite sturdy and quite strong, so I think we'll continue with this for the next few years. A winch in place as well, so that the entire set of lights, including the star, will come down for for maintenance if necessary, or though we haven't needed to use it this year, the idea there was if we do have strong winds or storms, which we often get here in December, we could lower it down just to reduce the risk of damage. As I say, we haven't had to do that, but it's weathered some pretty strong wind and some storms, so we're quite impressed with how strong this has been. Actually, you'll see at the top there, it's tethered with some guy ropes. Much as I tried, I couldn't get black ropes, so we went with highly fluorescent reflective orange, which is not ideal, but it's done the job. Very, very strong, and as I say, it's stayed up now a month, so we're very pleased with how that's come up. The mega tree is 1.8 metres or 6 foot in diameter at the base, and has a height of 5 metres or around 15 feet. The base is made using a 6 foot trampoline frame and staked in at various points to the ground, which makes it quite secure. We're on a sloping block here, so you'll see we've raised the front slightly higher than the back, just to keep the whole thing straight and true. And just onto the control for this tree. Again, now everything in the show is locked, so I've opened this just for display purposes, but we do try and keep anything that has mains power and is in reach or accessible locked. So you'll see our sticky tape is not holding up to the weather, but that is essentially a pair of 12 volt power supplies feeding some fuse distribution boards, a Raspberry Pi underneath there with a Hanson Electronics RPi 28, which gives 2 pixel outputs of around about 800 pixels per channel. So in our case, this is a 1200 pixel tree with a further 150 pixels for the star on top. And that one small board with just 2 outputs handles that quite easily. Cabling for the mega tree is managed out of just 2 ports with power injection along the way. So port 1 comes into string 1 up and down in a zigzag fashion through 600 pixels. After each 100 pixels there is a power injection point, and it's managed in such a way that the power injection T here has ground and positive power coming in. Data flows between one string to the next. Ground is common between all 3 points, but positive power is broken at the end of the previous string, and then the new power positive injected into the next string. And on that goes for 600 pixels. Then in around the middle of the tree we start with port 2, which carries on in a very similar fashion through 600 pixels, and then up the centre of the tree to the 150 pixels in the star.
Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, feedback or comments, feel free to leave a comment on the video. Find us on Facebook at Narre Lights, or on the Christmas lighting forums, Oz Christmas Lighting or Falcon Christmas, David J 247. Look forward to hearing from you. Merry Christmas.